And we come now to 0:30 Universal Time. In the news at this hour, Iran's leader says his country will consider proposals by the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council and Germany. The proposals are an effort to get Iran to stop its uranium enrichment program. However, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad said Iran has the right to use nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. Mr. Ahmadinejad spoke at the burial place of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini near Tehran. Reports say European Union foreign policy official Javier Solana plans to arrive in Tehran soon to present the proposal. Officials in Iraq say a bomb explosion in the southern city of Basra has killed at least 27 people. 3 days ago, Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki declared emergency rule in the area after weeks of fighting between separate Shiite groups. On Saturday, the Russian Foreign Ministry confirmed that kidnappers killed a Russian diplomat and seized 4 embassy workers near the Russian embassy in Baghdad. In other news, police say at least 4 bodies were found across Baghdad, and police in Aqaba say 7 policemen were killed, and at least 4 other people were wounded in an attack at a security stop. Officials in Canada say they have arrested and charged 12 men and 5 youths suspected of plotting terror attacks on Toronto. The arrests were made on Friday in the eastern Canadian city. The arrest operation involved 400 police officers in 12 different places. The Toronto Star newspaper says Canadian officials had been observing the terrorist group since 2004. A police official said the suspects had 3 tons of a highly explosive material. In Washington, a spokesman for the FBI said the men may have had limited communication with 2 terrorism suspects arrested recently in Atlanta, in the American state of Georgia. British anti-terrorism police have searched a house in London for signs of chemicals that could be used to make bombs. The police arrested 2 men on Friday. 1 suspect was shot during the raid. The 2 men seized are suspected of terrorist activities. A judge has given police permission to hold them for questioning until Wednesday. Officials say the raid was not linked with attacks last July against London's transportation system. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Voters in Peru will go to election centers in the final part of the presidential election on Sunday. The candidates are former President Alan Garcia and Ollanta Humala. The first vote took place in April, but no candidate received a majority. Mr. Garcia had said Mr. Humala would make major economic changes, including seizing some industries. Mr. Humala has noted Mr. Garcia's earlier term in office, in which Peru suffered from high inflation and economic crisis. Nigerian officials say they are hopeful about negotiations with kidnappers who seized 8 foreign workers. The foreigners are oil workers who were captured on an oil drilling station in the Gulf of Guinea. Nigerian officials say the hostages are in good health and are being treated well. They are 6 British citizens, a Canadian, and an American. In Somalia, at least 5 people have been killed in fighting between competing armed groups in Mogadishu. Reports say Islamic fighters are battling with other groups for control of a bridge and road in an area north of the city. The violence on Saturday follows the deaths of at least 11 people late on Thursday. On Friday, thousands of people marched in the capital to condemn the United States for its suspected support of armed groups fighting the Islamic armies. The Czech Prime Minister says he may dispute the results of general elections that took place on Friday and Saturday. Election officials say the Civic Democrat Party won 35% of the vote. The Social Democrats of Prime Minister Jiří Paroubek had 32%. Mr. Paroubek said he may ask a court to cancel the election results. The presidents of Russia and Georgia have agreed to talks in St. Petersburg, Russia, on June 13th. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Georgian President Mikhail Saakashvili spoke by telephone and confirmed plans on Saturday. Tensions between the two nations have been high in recent months. On Friday, Russia accused Georgia of preparing to use force to take control of the separatist area of South Ossetia. Russia has had peacekeepers in the area since the 1990s, but Georgia wants the Russian troops removed. In sports news, the defending champions of the French Open tennis tournament have both won. Rafael Nadal of Spain defeated Paul-Henri Mathieu of France in 4 sets, and Justine Henin-Ardenne of Belgium defeated Tatiana Garbin of Italy in 2 sets. The defending women's champion now will play Anastasia Miskina of Russia in the next round. The French Open is played at the Roland-Garros Tennis Center in Paris. And so briefly now, here again is the major news of this hour. Iran's president says his country will consider proposals by permanent members of the UN Security Council and Germany. In Iraq, a bomb explosion in Basra has killed at least 27 people, and British police have searched a house in London for signs of explosives after arresting 2 men on Friday. So ends the news in VOA Special English.